As you are well aware, the technology in our business is constantly evolving. 6 or 7 years ago, the world of video design saw its first electronic paint system. And boy, did that change our lives. Now the world of print is going through those same kinds of changes. My guest today introduced a lot of you to the Quantel paint box. He now has his own company in Hollywood called Electric Paint. And he is using the latest technology to bridge the gap between design and production. A man whose reputation precedes him, the former artist, playboy turned entrepreneur, known in some circles as Hollywood Dundee, my dear friend, Tony Redhead. Tony, welcome.
G'day, John, you're a wanker. How are you?
Well, tell us a little bit about Electric Paint. Just what is it?
I'd love to. Well, what we do at Electric Paint is we create key art. Key art is pieces like this, and we did this for Tom Hanks' movie Burbs. And this is it's a piece of art, no type, ready to go to separations. And the way we do that is we produce it on 8x10 transparencies using a couple of different systems, primarily the Quantel graphic paint box and a system called the Cytex Pixette.
Well, is it too simple to think that the graphic paint box is just like the video paint box, except it goes to print?
Yeah, that was a big mistake we made. When we were first talking, you and I, about Electric Paint and what we were going to be doing over there in Los Angeles, we thought a lot of our work would come from video. As my partners of the Post Group in Los Angeles, we thought, well, initially our client base is going to come from video.
Well, have you seen any crossover at all between the video companies or video usage for your...
Well, after we learned what we were doing and, gained more knowledge about the technology, we've started to see some crossover applications back with some of the other systems that we have. We have, a job here, this first job we're looking at here. This is a news set we did for KPIX in San Francisco.
Well, how did this go together? Did you start with big pictures?
Yeah,
or?
well, what they did, the problem they had and why they came to us was that they'd taken 4 2¼ inch transparencies, which is, a little transparency about that big. They actually took 4 during the daytime and 4 at nighttime from a helicopter above San Francisco Bay. Now, one of the problems is, this damn helicopter's like bouncing up and down, 2,000 feet here, 2,000 feet there. And when you try and put all these together, they don't quite fit. So our job was to make them all fit. This was the initial premise of the job, and make a transparency that they could then use to make a backlit transparency for the news set, like 32 feet long. Well, if you can see, here's the first transparency. This was one of the daytime shots. And you can see that, it's really lacking in color. There's not a lot of, color contrast in there. Yeah, the skyline's very weak, the curvature of the earth. And we want to get the feeling that we were quite high above San Francisco. If you have a look here, this is the nighttime shot. And you can see the problem with the nighttime shot was that it's very flat, it's very grainy, and it doesn't look like night. It looks like, somebody shot it in their cupboard. So the first thing we did was to actually get rid of the nighttime shots because they were not usable at all. And you can see here's the first daytime shot that we've enhanced up here. And you can see how we've increased the color contrast here. We've added the curvature of the earth.
Much stronger image.
And stuff like that. Yeah, especially when you're blowing this thing up to 32 feet by 8 feet, or whatever it is. And then we decided to go to the night shots. It would be better to take the daytime shots, rework those, darken them down, take out the sailboats in the bay, add the lights in. You can see here on this shot the lights that extend down into San Jose and stuff like that. We painted all those in. So it took us about 8 hours to do both pieces, and we produced transparencies that they made into the sets.
What was the turnaround time from the time they gave you the slides to they had their set?
5 days. Yeah, it takes
5 days. That's terrific.
It takes us 2 days to have it scanned. We have to send it off to a color separator to have the transparency scanned. A day for us to work on, and then 48 hours to make the transparency. But the advantage they had was that they were sitting with us all the time. The finished product was there on the screen. We use high definition monitors. The product is beautiful, and the transparencies came out. And you can see we have some videotape of the opener of the show.
Oh well,
you can see what it looks like.
The opening of the show, and we'll see what it looks like.
Roll the videotape.
This is KPIX Eyewitness News at 6.
Good evening. Wendy has the night off. Liz Gonzalez is sitting in with me.
And coming up, the people in California trying to strike it rich the old-fashioned way by gold mining.
Well, that worked out quite well.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, was it? Except for the people sitting in front of it.
Well, you mentioned some other machines that you use. How does it tie in with broadcast or the other machines?
Well, this is a montage of elements that we've done. We do lots of stuff backwards and forwards. I have no idea what we're looking at now, but yes, this is Pacific Bell Yellow Pages. We created the frames for this animation, sent them through to Wavefront, and then PDI went through and rendered them. There's also another one for PDI, Snacky Foods. We created the the box that we sent through that he's bursting through there. We also, when they'd finished that animation too, took frames from that and supplied them with transparencies that they used for print afterwards. So in that case, we went both ways, in and out. Stuff we've done for Paul Sidlow, who happens to...
My next guest?
Oh, you mentioned him, right? Yeah, Paul. Yeah, we do work for him. We've done some work for Resonate, where we've taken images from their animations. We've also given them high-resolution texture maps. The opener for National Geographic for Metrolite, we did all the animation frames for the mountains. I think that's about it. Well, that was Todd Rublin, our young paintbox artist, showing us how fast he can put one of these things together.
I understand, the first time it was put together, it took, what, 3 wavefront operators, a couple paintbox artists, and an engineer?
About 5 hours.
5 hours?
5 hours to figure the thing out.
Well, tell us about this piece.
Well, this is a theatre standee. You find these in the lobbies of theatres, and one of the advantages we have with coming to electric paint to do these, because when we build the key art, we layer on the paintbox and put sections together, so it's very easy to separate them to build the three-dimensional look into the standees. These are built by a company in Los Angeles, LA Grafco, that do a lot of this stuff, and our agency is Seiniger on this thing. And we've done quite a bit of work on this. We've given him different heads because he complained about the artwork halfway through. The Motion Picture Association of America rejected the single digit pointing down, so we had to put another one in. And we did some paint work on the keys and added all that stuff and general retouching over the whole thing.
Terrific project. Tony, I want to thank you for being my guest on the show.
John, it's a real pleasure, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. The guest on my next show will be Paul Sidlow from Resonate Productions in Los Angeles.
We do work for him.